Hopefully, but I accidentally hit chatting as well, so we're already live. But I can't see you, Robin. What's going on with you, Robin? Ah, this is where it all goes horribly wrong. Yes, try to get Robin online now. I knew this wouldn't work. I knew this was a bad idea. Let me try and add Robin in now. Here we go, Robin. Giant picture of Robin. I'm going to resize him. This is all quality stuff that everyone comes to expect from this channel. Here we go.
Whoa,
Robin should be online now.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello to everyone online already. Thank you for tuning in. And hello to everybody who's already online and said hello. We've got... Oh my god, there's loads of people. I'm going to scroll back to the top. We've got Dwayne Van Vuren online. We've got the Battlecast. Hello, Justin. We've got Edward, Ed Avery. Ed, how you doing? VJ saying morning as well. We've got Chris Cooley. Hello from Toronto. Hello. Well, I'm not from Toronto. You're from Toronto. We've got Finn Dawes. We've got Blackjack Legacy. Hello. Hello. We've got
all the celebs are in tonight.
Celebrities. Yeah, celebrity-studded evening today. Timothy Alacon. God, there's so many people. Chris Curie, hello everyone. Yeah, hello. Everybody's online. By God, everyone's saying hello. Hello, everyone.
It's been an hour just saying hello to everybody.
Yeah. And good night. Thank you and goodbye. Right, let's crash on with some stuff then.
First what are we talking about tonight?
Brilliant to see everybody online, and thank you to some of our competitors coming online and checking out the competition. I don't think you're going to feel very threatened from what you see tonight.
I'm sure it's not competition. I'm sure it's kind of like, I don't know, just friends.
I see it's healthy competition that only the viewers can benefit from.
Exactly.
We all learn from each other.
Yeah. I've got a stinking cold tonight, so apologies for any sneezing and such like all over the screen. Hopefully that won't happen.
Hopefully not.
And we've got a couple in from South Africa tonight.
We've got people from everywhere. There's loads of people online. So hopefully we're not going to cover anything that Battlecast covered yesterday, because he was covering a bit on Warcry, and I did want to talk about them a little bit, but not till later on, because we're all about the beast gravy. Obviously, we're all about beast gravy tonight.
Battlecast, getting friendly down in the comments.
Ooh,
got to give him a hug too.
Across the pond hug.
Yeah.
So, what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we've got some Beastgrave news has come out over the weekend.
All sorts of things going on.
Yes, the Grymwatch.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about the Grymwatch a bit. Do let us know in the comments what you think of the Grymwatch. And as always, apologies if the audio video gets a little bit dodgy. We're still running on a Mac that, frankly, I'm surprised isn't smoking right now. And we're going to hopefully be getting some new kit in a month or two, thanks to all you awesome Patreon supporters out there. We almost have enough money to buy Robin a brand new machine.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
I won't know how to work it because technology's moved on.
I'm going to have to set it up with just a big red button so Robin can just press it and it'll make things happen, and then everything will look great.
So the Grymwatch then, we're quite hyped for these. Although I still really love my Wild Hunt. I'm absolutely loving those, but I am quite excited about the Grymwatch, and I'm particularly interested in the Madness tokens. I think they're going to take us one step beyond anything we've seen before.
Not that we're going to get the tokens themselves, but whatever they.
Well, no, that's true. But the mechanic, if you like.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to finding out what that is. And you're out of sync, Pete.
I don't think, just ignore that. People are just in there for the listening to the words, not the seeing of the faces.
Okay.
Which is good for them, really, considering what they've got to look at.
Yeah, that's probably true. And there was something interesting about being able to possibly bring people back, or maybe assimilate dead fighters into the team, which is quite interesting. I don't know if you picked that up in the text of the Grymwatch on Warhammer on the community site. It just something like you can. I can't remember exactly what it said now, but it basically either implied there's going to be a return mechanism or a reanimation of dead foes.
Well, we haven't had a return to the table mechanism at all in Shadespire, apart from the odd ploy card. Not in Shadespire, in Nightvault, sorry. So, I mean, now is the prime time to bring something like that back, and they're probably one of the few warbands that could legitimately bring that in, of what we know is coming around, at least.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's about time we had another one.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, because we had obviously the Spelker Guard, and then we had the Spookies. No, we didn't have the Spookies. That's complete lie. It was the Skaven. But
Yeah.
we haven't had anything at all with Nightfall, so yeah, we're due something like that, and I would like something like that. We've got Red Rose Wargaming on as well. Hello, guys.
Hey.
Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully we don't, bore you, but do please chuck any comments you got. So the Grymwatch, I am not very pumped for the models, I've got to say. I looked at the models, the pictures. I mean, the paint job is kind of, someone's already mentioned about the paint job being a bit meh. But yeah, I'm kind of meh on the models.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the whole Flesh Eater Court aesthetic, I have to say, generally. And I think they suffer in comparison to the Nighthaunt as well, which I think their flowing, ghosty types are nicer than, just inherently nicer than flesh-eating sort of reanimated corpses. So I think that's part of it. But I think I'm more interested in the mechanics than I am in the miniatures.
Yes, I am definitely. I mean, it was a bit annoying that Lord Crackmarrow, I think his name is, he's probably the best looking model of the bunch. The rest of them I find a bit subpar. I don't like the bats. I've never been a fan of that sort of cardboard cutout bat design, and it reminds me of the bat swarms you used to get back in the 90s. The vampire bat swarms. They were just like 3 or 4 sort of stuck together, and I wasn't a massive fan of that at all. So apologies at home, anybody who's really psyched for the models, but they're just not making me that excited right now.
No, I'm more from the new ones. I'm more excited about the Wolf Riders models because they're quite cool. How they're actually going to work within the game.
I'm kind of looking forward to what I could paint them as, because I don't like the green that they've done, but I'm kind of looking forward to maybe doing them like a there's a, I can't remember, it's a bluish grey contrast paint called like Fenrisian Grey or something like that, and I'm really looking forward to trying maybe doing them in that sort of greyish tone, or possibly a bluish kind of tone, but I wasn't a fan of the green.
I actually thought I've just seen myself drink my tea, and I had the mug round the wrong way, so you couldn't see the logo.
What a lovely mug you've got there, Robin.
Yeah.
Sadly, I don't have mine.
It's a right-handed mug, not a left-handed mug.
It's not my fault you're one of that tiny 5% or whatever it is, Ed's saying it lacks dinosauriness. It does lack dinosauriness, sadly. Red Rose saying that they're going to paint them up a bit like the monsters from Descent. That would be quite terrifying. Just watching that film again would be quite terrifying. I'm quite interested to see what the mechanics are behind them. We've got the plugged a mug, yep. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what mechanics got. I think the guy who's got the 2 hooks is going to have ensnare, or whatever the thing is that stops dodges.
Oh yeah,
that's almost a given. I'm wondering if the one with the whacking great thigh bone is going to have knockback, possibly, and I think Crackmarrow is almost definitely going to have cleave. There's also the witchy thing with the long straggly hairs, almost definitely going to be the caster, I reckon. But the one that's...
what about the madness tokens? How are they going to work, do you think? Because the 2 current tokens boost you you can use it as a boost for your own warband. But I don't know how the madness is necessarily going to work. Is it that you can inflict on your opponent, or is it going to be... I don't know enough about the Flesh Eater Court's lore to know what it might mean for them.
It's true, I mean, maybe it'll give you some extra attacks or some boosts in that kind of way, maybe.
Yeah, I can sort of, but I can also see how having a shambling mass of undead people trying to eat you might actually, do some negative to your opponent. Maybe you could reroll one of their attack dice.
And we have seen that there is one card that's come out, so we have seen one objective card for them, which is you score this if you take somebody out of action you have as support, I think it is, something like that.
Oh, okay. I missed that card completely. I've been a bit busy.
I think it was in the announcement. There was a little card. You could just about make it out, and they were just very careful. Like, just show the edge of it, and you can make out the text on that. So that's an interesting one to see. Maybe they're going to go in for the more like the swarming opponents, like I thought Skaven were going to do, but didn't in the end. Maybe they're going to be more the swarming opponent and get glory and stuff for having people outnumbered and that kind of thing. There. Yeah.
They kind of. I definitely feel like they fit their kind of traditional ghoulish kind of what's the word, aesthetic for sort of getting around people and sort of dragging them down.
Caught by the ghoulies.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, I think there will be plenty of ghoulie jokes and plenty of madness jokes.
Yes,
as videos come out.
None of them have got baggy trousers. I don't know why.
That is very good.
Thank you. I'm here a week. One thing that really bugs me is that the in all the pictures and the artwork that you see, the witchy one, the female one, has got sort of saggy, ghouly boobs, and the model itself, they've kind of completely shied away from that at all, and it's almost like it's wearing like a sports bra, but it's just the skin. You're like, just completely. You can tell the sculptor just got to that point and was like, no, I can't do it. I'm just not doing this. I'm just gonna mould some kind of bump there, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So
okay, I'm going to leave you to talk about those.
Saggy ghouly boobs.
In case I get myself into difficulties.
And there's another one of the ghouls has a lot of bone armour on, so I'm reckoning they're going to be the only one that rolls shields in the whole warband.
Yep.
The others are pretty average by the look of it as well. So I'm not expecting huge amounts out of them. But one thing that is important to know is it's another, I think it's a 7-member warband.
Okay.
So we've got 5 for the hunt. We've got 6 for Grashrax Despoilers, and we've got 7 for the ghouls. So GW seems to be going much more towards, I wouldn't say swarm warbands, but larger sized warbands with lower wound counts, I'm guessing, and more dodges, which is, I kind of like that. It's going back to a bit more towards the Shadespire days, where shields and the smaller warbands weren't as in demand, or at least early on they weren't. Later on it became a bit more 50-50.
I think it makes the game tactically more interesting. I feel like when you've got more small people to play with, you have to think a little bit more about what you're doing. Whereas the smaller warbands, it's kind of like tank one person up, and whether it be Stormsire shooting people down with spells, or Moloch just laying waste to people. I kind of feel so. Maybe the kind of having the larger number of models is going to change the meta, and also, of course, it makes objective play more viable as well, because you've got more options for pushing people onto objectives. Yes, I think it's good.
I was especially looking forward to the fact that it hopefully hails a lot more objective play coming into it, because you've got more bodies running around, more chance of being able to grab objectives. It also means that you can never get too far away from your opponent. When you've got 7 aside, there's nearly always going to be someone.
And lethal hexes with the lethal hex placement, you've got an amazing number of people. You've got 7, you've got 13 warriors, say 6 and 7. Then you're bound to be people pushing into lethal hexes left, right, and centre. So we've got a few nice comments here. We've got. I definitely agree with Zach. It'd be nice to have some new dimensions to go with, some new mechanics. And he's also come up with the suggestion that if a fighter is pushed back, they may take a madness token. That's pretty cool.
Maybe
like
you get a madness token if you've got like somebody, or you're outnumbered at the start of your activation, or at the end of the previous person's activation, something like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Possibly. I was trying to think of a madness joke there, but I couldn't think of one.
Don't worry, we'll do our research before we get to that.
The other big question is the price, because they have the warband do appear to have gone up.
Ooh, have they?
By £2.50, is it? I think they've gone up to £20 for the warband, which is obviously quite a sizable chunk on a 20. It's on a £20. It's £20. It's gone up. It's gone up from £17.50. That's a reasonable chunk of money. We normally get ours from the Outpost, don't we? And they can't remember how much they charge you. £14, I feel like, for a warband from there, but maybe it's a bit more.
Anybody in the UK? Links in the description below. If you follow that link, we do get a little bit back. We are affiliated with them, so if you are thinking of buying some stuff, do look at the link. It's worth a shot, and you'll get it for about the same price as any other online discount store. Anyway, back to the talking.
I feel like the price rise is inevitable. We don't want to get into politics here, but with the current political situation and what the hell is going to happen by the end of October, I think it's inevitable that GW would try and cushion that.
Yes. They've got to. I mean, everything's going up in price. I mean, even though the plastic is obviously done in Blighty, I'm guessing a lot of the extras, like the cardboard and the cards themselves and stuff like that, a lot of that probably gets packaged abroad and sent over. So
I don't know whether export is going to go up as well. I don't know enough about the economics of it, but I just feel
it's going to end around about
Brexit
I think
time.
So
November the 1st. I basically cleared my diary for November.
Pretty much. Just going to assume that we're going to have to hole up in our houses, a bit like Walking Dead, and go Rick Grimes on everybody.
Red Rose Wargame says he was at Warhammer World yesterday. Could see them showing lots of shareholders around. He could smell price rises in the air. That's quite funny.
People in suits, is that? With clipboards, looking at things, going, oh dear, no, we're going to have to do something about There's been a couple of questions about Warcry. Are we going to get the latest Warcry book? And also, what was that? I've missed a question up here somewhere.
Did we cover it already?
Have we covered it already? We have not covered it already. We haven't got the book yet.
Well, no,
probably will get the book. The latest book, the Two Champions, or whatever it's called.
I'm pretty sure we will. The timing is going to depend a little bit on the release of the Underworld stuff, because obviously that we haven't mentioned is that they've deviated from their old release schedule of doing 2 warbands at a time. So if they keep releasing them at a steady pace, so we might run out of time. They'll not run out to do the Warcry thing as well. But I think we will at some point pick it up, at least in a shop to nose through it and see what's in there.
Thank you, Ed, for pointing out how much it's costing on Outpost. Currently charging £14 instead of £17.50. So thank you, Ed. I mean, I'm a bit annoyed that they released those warband cards for Warcry, and now they've sold out them and they're not doing them anymore. And now they're releasing a book that's going to have them all in, plus a load of other bits as well. That annoys me a little, because I want the cards and I'm not going to be able to get them now. So I'm going to have to try and do some kind of printout, because no one wants to sit there flicking through a book. It's just annoying. And why don't they put it in a PDF form? And maybe the book will be available in PDF, and I can download it, and I can obviously buy it and download it, and then I can print out the sheets that I need and put them in a sleeve to use or something like that. But it's just a bit annoying. It's just a bit annoying.
Raphael Perry said they couldn't release 2 warbands because the ghouls ate the other one. It was going to be a 3-member warband, but now it's only
just
one.
A very sad-looking goblin with no wolf to ride. The one thing it does help us with, although it throws us out a little bit, it does help us with the fact that if one warband comes out straight away, we can then do a ghouls versus hunt and then a ghouls versus despoilers couple of matches. So
it's better for us.
It helps us
definitely.
I think,
because we also haven't got. I don't like it when you get like about a gajillion new cards at once as well, because you miss things and you don't. I don't know. It's not. It'll be nice to explore them slowly, I think. So that's quite a good thing. But just to go back to Warcry, I find it odd that they've kind of gone for this card setup, and they've very much positioned it as that you have the cards. There's no text on the cards or anything, and now suddenly they're moving towards the book, and so you haven't got cards anymore. And I guess they might bring out a deck, but are they going to change things? I'm interested to see whether they're going to change things. I know people have said that some of the AOS warbands are overpowered. We haven't played very many of those. So are they going to change it? Is that going to be like supersede the cards? I don't know. And that always starts to get a bit messy then. Yeah. It's not too bad for us because we only play each other in the garage, so it doesn't matter.
It's a much smaller meta there.
Yeah, there is. But if you start getting people like, well, you've got to buy the book to be current, it starts to get a bit tiresome.
And the other thing that grinds my gears about that is they're going to release this book and it's going to have all the current warbands and some extra monsters stuff, because they have previewed the other monster thing that's going to throw stones and stuff around, which looks pretty nice. It's quite a big departure from GW's usual models. It looks quite War Machine-esque. It's got a feel about some other modelling companies, which I quite like. But the annoying thing is, for me, is that it's not going to have the 2 warbands in that we're still waiting for, the Spire Stalkers or whatever they're called, and the other guys. So we're going to have another book come out later on with those ones in and some other stuff, and it's going to be a bit like Necromunda and Kill Team all over again.
You think?
I think so, because there'll be.
I suppose they're always going to make stuff that you need to buy.
Yeah, true.
I suppose that's just inevitable.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't complain. That's what GW
Blackjack
do.
Legacy said, to be fair on the warband cards, I bought them all, I haven't used them yet. I've been enjoying the new Chaos warbands. I think I enjoy the Chaos warbands. It feels like the game is designed for those. Yeah. And we have played a couple of AOS faction games, but I wonder whether they kind of released those mainly to pull you in, so that if you didn't want to invest in the models, you could at least try out the mechanisms and the rule set, and then if you enjoyed it, then branch out into the Chaos warbands. But it's going to be interesting to see how much new material there is in this new book as well. I think that's going to make a big difference as to whether we pick it up.
And I do think that he says also that the cards will come with the new Chaos Warbands. I think they will, just like all the other ones. You'll get the cards in the box with the warbands as well.
Yes.
That won't be too bad. But it's just things like the Oryx. I don't have the Oryx cards. I would quite like at some point to sort of bring Gerzag out with a few extra brutes, and I'm not going to be able to do that as easily now, which is just gonna bug my OCD a little bit.
I should be playing Gerzag tomorrow, but that's not what you mean, is it?
No, not quite in that same sense.
Grashrax. Am I playing Grashrax Despoilers tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I'm playing Grashrax Despoilers. You're playing the Oryx.
Sorry, I'm playing against them.
Sorry,
and
yes.
I'm like, I'm with Gerzag tomorrow. Should be an interesting game. Although Gerzag, I try to make a deck with these guys, and it's like, oh my god.
I found, because we've got 2 games that we're going to be recording tomorrow. We're going to do Oryx versus the Despoilers, and we're also going to do Ilthari's Guardians versus the Wild Hunt. And I found a similar thing when I was trying to build my Ilthari deck. I got to a point where I already had my 6 instant scores, my 6 surge cards, as it were, and I was trying to find other objectives to take that weren't surge cards. And like, oh, this is a good card. Oh, that's surge. Oh, this is a good card. Oh, no, that's surge as well. Well, I bet that. Oh, that's also surge. Oh, for the love of God! Like, what do I take now? There's none of the good cards.
I had a similar thing, except I just thought that most of them were impossible to score with the Oryx.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my god, they can't really score that. Oh no, they're not very good at scoring.
What do we think about the Warcry starter set going out of stock? Do we think that they'll release a new starter set? I think they will, a bit like Kill Team. Eventually they'll release a new starter set, probably featuring some new Chaos-based warbands in a year's time. And it'll have new scenery and new warbands. So it might not actually have new scenery, because the Kill Team one I don't think had new scenery. Or did it? I can't remember.
Okay. I kind of feel like maybe scenery is where it's at for them now, so they can make scenery and people will buy it.
Yeah.
And they can keep churning up so you can get a different board. They did make a lot of different scenery sets for Kill Team, didn't they?
They did. And
I don't know whether they put it in the new starter set.
They've made a fair few
I don't know
as well. So, yes.
Yeah. Because there's a new Kill Team starter set, isn't there? Did they put? Is it the same scenery in that?
Because it's got Space Marines versus Tau or something like that. I don't know if it's got new scenery or different scenery in somebody else.
I don't know, because we've so long since we played Kill Team. I can't remember. I haven't even looked at it. We haven't had time to play it, so I haven't.
Yes, VJ says it didn't have new scenery. It had different scenery. Yes, that's kind of what I mean by new, as in new for a Kill Team player. So scenery that we've seen before, just a different pack of scenery in there.
Yeah. Okay.
So Blackjack said that they probably have the 2 new warbands in that book. Possibly they might do. They have previewed one of the models, and I have to say the model they previewed was really uninspiring. It's just like a Chaos Warrior with a helmet and a big axe. Like, you've kind of done that. We've had people who have torn their own faces off to make a belt buckle. We've had guys who wear what look like diving helmets and are built like ogres. We've got people who dress up like birds and jump off of buildings. And we've got like gladiators in snake armour and poison weapons, and then you go back to semi-naked bloke with an axe and a helmet on. It's just really uninspiring all of a sudden. I was like, wow, okay, that's all you're doing. It's pretty dull.
Gareth said he doesn't think Warcry will make it, and VJ has added make it, and I was going to ask the same thing. Do you mean you don't think it's going to become a mainstream game? You think it's going to peter out, Gareth, or do you mean something different? I kind of... Go on.
No, after you. No, after you. No, after you. We're too British for this.
I have my reservations about Warcry. I don't know how well it's been picked up. Gareth thinks it's a bit lame. I like it, but having now played a few games of Beastgrave, I've remembered how great Underworlds is at its best, and Warcry seems a bit of it's a different game, I know, but I find that it's. I would rather play Underworlds at the moment.
I think I'd rather play Underworlds at the moment, but one thing I will say is at the weekend I played a couple of games. Well, I actually played one game. I had a couple of friends over and we played a few games, and it was great fun because there was very little prep in advance other than the obvious setting up of scenery and stuff like that. But then you could just get straight into the game. There was no worry about having a deck or any of that kind of faffing around. And I know you can, with Underworlds, you can have your deck in advance and all that kind of thing, but it was just nice to be able to set up the board. It was a bit like playing old-fashioned tabletop war games again. It was a bit like playing 40k or AOS and stuff like that. And it was just nice to be able to get back.
That's true. It is very accessible. It is super accessible, and I did like when we were playing, because sometimes warband choices can take up the week trying to think about what cards to put in. Yeah. I did like the fact that when you were playing for Underworld, but what I did like when you play Warcry, it's kind of like when I'm playing these guys, and because we've only got one box, you pretty much can only play them with one build.
Yeah.
So you're just going to turn up and play, and that's really nice. There's almost no preparation
to
do, which is good. I do like that. but I've really enjoyed. Whereas at the end of Nightfall, I wasn't enjoying Underworld so much with the rotating out of the cards and the new warband so far, and the fact that your dice trials have gone through the floor. I am enjoying my Underworlds at the moment.
I will say I find they scratch very different itches for me.
That's true.
Legacy saying that Underworld's a skirmish game, it's more of a card game. I sort of agree. I just find they scratch very different itches for me, and I enjoy both for very different reasons. Gareth is saying there are better skirmish games out there on the market. I mean, there might be. I don't have the time or inclination to try them all, frankly. And GW, if there's one thing they're good at, it's marketing. So they can hype stuff very nicely, and they made me want to try and play it. Whereas most of these other skirmish games I've never heard of because I don't know they exist
That's
right
true.
now. So
they are very good, and the models are generally better than everybody else's as well, which makes you want to play the games. I think
quite often. I think other competitors are getting in on that a lot more now, but I think GW still have the market on the finish quality. Definitely, I think they've definitely got an edge there, and the way they managed to make their models such that you can put them together and barely see any seams most of the time is frankly astounding. You get the odd model every now and then that's terrible, but yeah.
I just think generally when I look at other games, I just think, well, they're not. They're just not there. I know that sometimes the GW models I find difficult to put together, but when complete, they are just a cut above everything else, pretty much.
Now, one thing I'd love to know, we've got Blackjack Legacy online, we've got names just escaping me. We've got Battlecast, we've got Justin online, and we've got Red Rose Wargaming online. I'd love to ask
who'd win in a fight? Is that what you want to know?
Come on! No, because I fold up like a piece of tissue paper in the storm gale.
Me too.
No, what I was going to say is, do you guys find when you're recording a game, it takes ages? Because we take ages. We played a Warcry game that I just finished cutting together, and the recording time was like 90 minutes, which is a fair amount of time, and what comes out of it is about a 45-minute video. Now Warcry were a lot worse. Underworlds will have like about an hour and 10 minutes, and it'll get cut down to about 45, so there's still a lot of chopping out going on there, but it takes ages. But I don't think, when I was playing Warcry the other night as well, a couple of mates came around, we started probably around 8:30ish, we didn't finish till around 11, and we only played a couple of games in that time because we just chat and jibber jabber. So it just takes so much time to play these games, and GW like, oh yeah, you can play this game in like 45 minutes. And granted, when you play at the Grand Clash and things like that, you have to get the games done in like 30 minutes, but it's a lot more like chess when you're doing it there. Not as much banter, it's just like doing your moves, playing your cards, smashing through it as quick as you can. But
when I played, it was like shit chess.
Maybe you should use dice in chess, maybe that'll help. Or maybe you should just use the chess models instead. You see, it doesn't say in the rules anywhere that you have to pick a board, that it has to be an Underworlds board. You could just put down a Ludo board. Bam, there we go. Monopoly. We're here for a while.
I love it. Blackjack Legacy says much tougher for focusing on the filming and the commentating. Absolutely is. And also, Pete and I, you may have noticed, like to digress.
It may be a little. I'm not even sure what we started this whole thing about, but yeah, we're here now.
So there's that too. But yes, it does, and it's kind of like when you talk over yourself. Like, what is it I do, Pete? When I count the cards, and then
you go. I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 of these cards, and 1, 2, 3 of those cards. Like, just so you can take 3 cards. Stop counting them out. No one cares.
You'd be amazed at what exactly annoys Pete. Or maybe I should start keeping a list, and then we can do a whole live chat on things that annoy Pete.
Yeah, well, there's 2 things we can do there. One is we can list all the things that Pete's being anal about. We're like, no, can you say that again? No, sorry, can you say that again? Can you say it again slightly faster? Can you say it all together in one go? And then we can also, I still want to try and get a soundtrack of Robin going, in different tunes, so I can try and make like Beverly Hills Cop theme tune up or something.
Madness! You got to do a madness tune.
Yeah, I could do that
when I play the Rashida chords.
And there was a comment someone just made one just earlier up that I just missed out. I think Underpank said he gets in GW games due to a sense of familiarity, and I agree. I've been in GW since late 80s, and they'll always be my happy place when I go there. So I'll always be like that. Russ Bellamy asks, did we enjoy our games at the Clash? I'd say I did, even though I lost 3 or 4 of the 5. I enjoyed every game, I think.
I enjoyed some games more than others.
Did you enjoy the ones you won more than the ones?
My last game, I didn't enjoy very much. I kind of lost the will to live by then. I think I had actually won a game by then, but I think the last one, I think I lost narrowly the first game of the pair, and the last one I just thought I just want to finish this down. I just want to get. I don't want to be a best of 3. Just want to get this over.
Sadly, we both beat. John, one of our Patreon supporters at the time, we both beat him.
Well, he's left now.
He has. Maybe that's why. Sorry, John. We did both beat him, and he had horrific luck when I played him. It was like he took my luck from me, which was nice of him. But sorry about that, John. Daniel Wilson, a bit earlier up, says he's yet to pick up Beastgrave. Maybe you will win it. You never know. Hopefully you have entered in the competition. He's looking forward to the warbands. Thinks their contrast paint will work on them really well. I think they'll definitely work. As long as there's textures, contrast paints work really well.
So we've got some.
Damien Hightower's turned up as well. Hello.
Underpank,
don't tempt me to make a remix. Do it, man. Do it. If you've got enough footage, do it. It'll be the best thing in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Damien says it's fun to get a chance to watch us live. Hopefully it's not as crap as you thought it might be.
I knew there was a reason why I've not tuned in before.
Gareth, do you think they ever introduce height level hexes to increase range and have things like diving attacks? Ooh, another dimension to the game, maybe. That'd be quite.
Yeah,
cool.
I think I would never say never with GW, because you never know what they're going to do, and they're always looking for new things. But I think it works so well because it's quite simple.
Yeah.
But that said, yeah, why not? It wouldn't have to be that complicated to add in. So
yeah.
But I do worry a little bit. It's quite funny. I went to I don't know if anybody else went. I went to Tabletop Gaming Live this weekend, and they were touting that they were showing off this new game by Czech Game Enterprises called Sanctum, which in the description looked a bit like Shadespire. It had like fighters and I didn't quite say it was arena combat, but I thought, well, that looks really quite interesting. I'm going to play it. I'm going to try and play it there. They have one copy, and it takes an hour and a half to play, so I didn't get to play. Then I looked at it, and there were just like gajillion counters all over. So there were the miniatures, and then there were good character cards, and gajillion counters all over it. I just thought, it just looks too complicated.
Too many counters.
And I thought,
I'm out.
Actually, when you actually break down Underworlds, because I kind of got used to it, but there's kind of like several different types of counters. They've just added more. There's 3 different types of dice. It's probably not any more complicated than that at all. But I didn't get to play it, so I can't comment. But it's interesting how a sort of perception of something can be. It looks more complicated than perhaps it is. I have no idea, but I kind of feel like Shadespire is very simple, or Underworlds is very simple.
I think so.
But I do worry that the more things they bolt on,
we've got hunters, we've got wizards, we've got there are a couple of other things I can't quite remember now, but yeah, I can see with spell casting and all the other things could start to get a bit over the top. We'll have to see how it goes on. A couple more questions have popped up. Is it true that GW have banned 2 of the game boards for competitive play? They have, haven't they? I can't remember which ones
they've rotated them out. They've rotated them out. Yeah, well, somebody says here it's the board expansion pack from season 1.
Yes.
Which typically Pete and I played on our unseen yet game.
I can't even remember which ones those are. So next time Rob and I meet up, he's going to have to point out which board it is I can't use anymore, because I keep getting confused as to which ones it is. But yes, they have rotated out a couple of the boards, which is a bit of a shame. Blackjack Legacy did ask, did we find the extra competitive made the games less fun? Yes, I think so. I felt
broadly,
fun. It was a very different type of game to play. When Robin and I play the games, and hopefully this comes through in the videos, we have a lot of fun for the most part, unless the dice are really, really doing us over, or the cards really aren't being our friends. We generally have a good laugh over most of it most of the time, but there was a lot less of that during the tournament. It was a very different game.
I still laugh quite a lot, but I think that was to mask the fact that things were going so badly.
Just sit there laughing and crying.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, it was maniacal laughter. But I think, it was. I mean, it is less. It's inevitably less fun because there's more riding on winning or losing for a start, and also you have got to plough through games much faster than we normally do. Would like to. In some ways, I'd much rather. I think I've said this before. I'd much rather have an informal tournament where you play for an hour and have a chat, so you get to find out who you're playing.
Maybe we'll have to do an agents tournament where you have to play a best of 2 in like an hour and a half. I think you can do 2 in an hour and a half with a bit of chit chat. Stuff like that.
Yeah, and then you have to mark your opponent on in conversational. How interesting the conversation was.
I like that idea. Maybe we'll have to do that.
How many puns?
Russ, how many puns were there? How many times did they say "ready for action"? No,
none anymore.
Boo! Of course, now we're going to have "ready for faction."
Exactly.
Russ asked, "Did we play any local store tournaments?" We don't, sadly, because it's either we play against each other and produce content for the channel, or we go and play against other people in a store, and we kind of figure you guys would rather see the content.
I went into my local store recently, which I don't very often do, and not a Games Workshop store. We've got a little shop in just outside of town, and I said, "Oh, do you play Warhammer Underworlds?" And he said, "No, we play Kill Team and Warcry." I said, "Oh, I occasionally play Warcry," and then he just went back to doing what he was doing. So that's the end of that story.
Did you not say, "Excuse me, do you know who the hell I am? Do you know who I am?"
I did not say that.
My local GW, the guy in there, he does know that I have a YouTube channel. It might be because whenever I pop in there, if we've got it early, I sort of say to him, "Oh yeah, it's coming out soon. We might have a copy that we're going to do an unboxing on soon." And he's just sitting there going, he's probably sitting there going, "I've got one out of the back, you loser. I know, I've seen it already, like weeks ago." But he kind of remembers me from that at least. So. Tunnels or shortcut hexes, that could be interesting on the board. Yep, some sort of teleporty sort of moves. We kind of have that with the ploys already with hidden paths and stuff, but yeah, something like that could be interesting.
Yep. But he's running a 3-day event in a couple of weeks with the exact ethos. Some organised play with a longer round length, gap between rounds and less rounds or socialised. That's pretty cool.
3-day event. That's impressive. I mean, I don't even want to guess at what the logistics are would be like behind that. Is that an Underworlds event, by the way? I'm assuming so, but
Pete and I would like to do an event, I think, wouldn't we, Pete? I do occasionally think about it, and then I just imagine the look on my wife's face when I tell her I'm going to spend my time organising a gaming event for a weekend.
Yeah, there is a bit of that. We might be able to have some kind of rubbishy little one-day event, hire a village hall or something like that.
Well, ironically, one of the reasons I went into this game store was to see whether they might accommodate a small event.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Never mind. For those not ready, I'm just reading VJ's comment. The GW tourney rule video, they specifically said for those not ready to let go of ready for action. I think it was a low-key shout out to the age. It'd be nice. But I don't think so.
I'm going to scan, or I was thinking today, I'm going to scan all the card text of the new cards in case there's any little shout out to us. If there's anything that rhymes with ready for action, so that we can still say it.
Nothing yet. I think whilst we do a lot of online content, we're not massive in the community. I think partially because we're not ultra competitive. We're not winning glass everywhere. We're more your fun weekly entertainment sort of. We're a bit more like the two Ronnies or something like that. I don't know. We're kind of like Morecambe and Wise, Cannon and Ball, rather than John McEnroe's or something like that.
Daniel said everyone crowds into the garage. Now that will be an event.
Daniel, you've not been in the garage. We did have a guest on the show, as it were. Yeah. Obviously last year. No, it was this year. I can't remember his name. It's completely gone from my mind. But I can see his face clear as day. So apologies right now if you're watching.
Simon.
Yes. We did have Simon on the channel. He was suitably impressed, and
by the loveliness of the garage. I've been to the dump, so there's more room in the garage now.
You've had a what?
I've had a dump. Yes, I've been to the municipal tip.
Oh, good.
There's more room in the garage now. I threw away I should have threw away the children's bikes.
Yeah,
they barely use them anyway.
They're never gonna cycle anyway.
It's winter now.
Yeah, no one's gonna need them. Blackjack Lexi says it's a multi-system weekend for 80 people. Wow, that is impressive. Good luck with that, and we will keep an eye on how you get on with that, and we may have to just pick your brain a lot afterwards.
So Aristea, how did people find Aristea if people played it? We played it. We remember playing a game, Pete. Remember we did play a little
play
playthrough.
An intro game, yeah.
And then we only got about halfway through and found it really confusing and stopped.
Yeah, it was an okay game. I think. I mean, it's possibly a bit like it was with Underworlds in that if you play more than a couple of games, it's probably all very obvious. But we only played one, and Underworlds was starting to really take off at that point, and we just kind of figured that if we were going to make a call, it was probably going to be better that we did Underworlds.
It just seemed like more complicated Underworlds as much as anything else, and therefore, it was kind of easier to just carry on with Underworlds at the time.
The dice is confusing. I remember the dice being confusing.
Yeah, the dice were confusing.
Also, there were green ones which completely screwed up my green screen. I didn't like them. Generally, that's my.
Vijay's coming to England.
Ooh. Well, if you do come over, do let us know. Yeah, generally one of my factors for whether I want to play a game or not is are any of the dice green? If so, it's a no from me. I can't get that green screen.
Oh, that's right. It had green dice, didn't it?
It did, yes.
Have you ever entertained Infinity? Funny enough, Ed, when I was at Tabletop Gaming Live this weekend, there was one of the stalls was selling Infinity stuff, and I was sort of looking at it and thinking, ooh. Maybe we should try and play this. I don't know how. I mean, I know it's a popular game. I don't know whether people would want to see videos of that. And that's the problem with branching out. There's an investment of time, and you've got to learn the rules to make it worth watching. And then it's kind of like, well, actually, the Underworlds trade is fast enough without trying to be on.
Barely have enough time to keep up with the Underworld stuff that's coming out. It's mad.
No, exactly.
It's absolutely crazy. But VJ, do let us know if you come over to the UK, if you're around. It would be great to have you maybe come on the channel, have a game, or just to say hello. And Underpank says, arguably our less competitive style may be a contributing factor to us being the best Underworlds content. Well, thank you. You might be a little bit biased because you are a Patreon supporter, but I don't mind. That's great anyway. But I think that's just how Robin and I are. We've never been win at all cost players. And if you are that kind of person, then that's fine.
That's what he thinks. I've fixed his dice.
That's why my dice rolls are so bad. Robin's been drilling them out and filling them with some lead shot or something like that. We're up to 40 watchers, Robin. 40.
Wow.
Thank you to everyone who's tuned in to listen to us babble nonsense. If anybody does any specific questions, do post them in the link below. Also, if you haven't already, do check out our giveaway. There is a link in the comments below. We're giving away a copy of Beastgrave and also the nameplates from Versatile Terrain, which are awesome.
Yes. Yeah, they really are really very good. And Keith's a lovely fella, so even if you don't read, do check them out.
Yes, definitely.
I think they are one of the best accessories for a game that I've encountered. And
they're one of those things. It's like we're already playing a luxury hobby, and now somebody's come out with a luxury item for the luxury hobby, which almost is a must-have, because it's like I can't not have these now on the bases. They're just got to be on.
No, exactly. It's like for Warcry, we'd be too much. We haven't for Warcry. It's kind of like, well, if one dies, then we'll be gutted. Under Pegasus, we've got 40 more watchers than he's got friends. I'm sure that's
we're down to 39 now. So
especially as there's only 39 watchers. I'm sure you haven't got -1 friends.
Don't worry, Under Pank, you're our friend, and all Robin and I've got is each other. So
yeah, that is true.
And also, GW have announced a Grand Clash date, January the 18th and 19th.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I don't want to say anything right now, but currently both of us have a weekend that doesn't have anything in it. Around that time.
It's sufficiently far enough in advance. It's after Christmas when nothing happens.
Yeah, it's in the bleak times.
So I haven't spoken to Mrs. Brooks yet to find out whether I'm free that weekend. But it would be good to get up there. I think awesome. I'd like to do that. And somebody said we should probably do some more local tournaments, but I find that in some ways that's harder. It's easier to clear out the weekend and go for like a specific big event at Warhammer World than sort of travel around the country. Playing random, or even the county, so two sort of random small events. Yeah. That's harder to get the time off for.
Yes, because they're usually like going to be on a Thursday or a Friday afternoon or something like that, which is.
Or even if they're on a Saturday, like there's a few tournament shops having them on Saturdays, but it's harder to just say I'm just going to pop over to, I don't know, wherever, Reading, for example.
It's much easier to have a once a year whole weekend away, and just having that weekend booked out and getting your passport stamped and then doing that. It's much better that way, I think.
Under Pank's in his third year at university, so he'll be too busy to go to the Grand Clash.
I would say that the university will be much more important.
Well,
to
maybe.
sound like
Depends what
someone's
course you're doing.
dad.
What course you're doing? It's video stuff, isn't it? And Peg,
Oh
you'll
yes,
be fine.
yeah. We need to get you. Need to study that hard so you can come and do all of our channel stuff afterwards.
Yeah, I like it. But if Patrick keeps going, we could perhaps move. That would probably be the next big thing. I don't know about you other video makers who are watching. If you could make so much more content if you could have somebody else to edit it.
Oh god, yeah.
But it's finding the time to do both. You kind of, whichever one you do, if you spend more time editing, you run out of content. If you spend more time making content, you don't have enough time to edit it.
Yeah, so you have that trade-off between quality and volume, basically. I think we're reaching a crunch amount, so we're starting to try and push the Patreon angle a bit to try and hopefully give us some funds to help free up some time to produce more content. And it's just that cycle of hopefully, I mean, all our Patreon supporters, we deeply love all of you for all your support, and we certainly couldn't be where we are right now without you, and especially the kit we're going to be buying. So it is just a constant strive for perfection.
He loves editing. Andy Peg says he loves editing. Well, maybe when he's finished his degree, we'll be in touch. We could probably pay you like in peanuts or something.
Yeah, I don't know if we can afford peanuts. Blackjack Legacy says he enjoys editing, but it takes way more time than people realise. Yeah, you got you have an hour and a half of footage. It takes you like 4 hours to actually edit down to 45 minutes of footage, or at least it does for me. And I'm just sitting there going, I must be doing something wrong here. Surely it should be the other way round. Yeah,
and I'm sure you're quicker than me as well. It takes me forever. It's like, well, that's why Blackstone Fortress games come out so irregularly.
And I do it on the train as well. I'll be sitting there on the train, clicking and tapping away. People looking over my shoulder thinking, what is that freak doing? There's a couple of questions did pop up. If we had to date an Underworlds fighter, who would it be and why?
We had to what? Sorry, date one?
If you had to date an Underworlds fighter, who would it be and why?
Probably Garrod.
I think that's a safe one. That's probably a safe one to pick. Thedra?
Definitely not Thedra. She's too wild for me.
But she's arguably probably the most human out of all of them. Maybe a soft spot for Basher?
Basher. I wouldn't want Basher anywhere near me, if I'm honest.
I'm sort of equating Basher with Knockers.
Sorry. It's got to that point
none
again.
None of the Spiral Guard, definitely not. Yeah,
the announcement for the January Grand Clash Red Rose Game War Gaming, it was a bit mixed up. I saw it on Facebook, and it's on the Underworlds Facebook page, and there's a link which implies it should be on the Warhammer community page, but when you press that link, it takes you to a thing about Warhammer 40,000. I don't know whether it's a clever marketing gig to try and get you into that game, but it's at the moment it's just on the Underworlds Facebook page, the only place I've seen it. There's like a little banner that says it's on the 18th and 19th of January.
I saw a picture, but I didn't see any more than that, so I'm only going off of hearsay.
Got a Mollog. We've got a vote for Mollog and a vote for Gwyn Ironsoul.
Mollog, a bit close to the wife for my liking.
I was going to say Gwyn Ironsoul was a bit close to mine. There you go.
And
no one said Navia, scary mice. The thing with Navia is you'll be there and she'll just die. Like, oh, let's go out on a date. Oh, I think you spilt your tea and now you're dead.
oh, she died. Check, please. I guess I'll have pudding on my own then. Just the one spoon now, don't need two. And VJ Morph said that we know that he's a professional editor and motion graphic artist, right? Did not. Handy to know. We'll be in touch.
Was that so? Oh no, we did not. I did not know that. Wow.
That could be very useful. Although, I'm not sure how we will get you any of the stuff you would need to be able to do any of the magic, because I understand it's like gigabytes and gigabytes of data. I was getting rid of one of my old machines, and I had to take the hard drives out, and I pulled this out, which is brilliant because it's like a 64 gig hard drive. And I was just saying to Robin that we have something twice the size of this now that goes in our camera that we shoot our 4K footage with. So it was just like, wow, that's come along a bit.
Red Rose War Games as an IS player, that felt too real. And then Russ Bellamy fancies Snurk, apparently, so he knows how to party. Yes, you always get to go to the ball with Snurk.
Oh god, that's terrible, Robin. That's terrible. Have you been waiting on to use that one? You've seen that and you've been sitting there going, oh, I'm going to use that one.
No, I haven't. No, I made it up myself just then. Could you not tell?
Yeah, yes. Kind of. Yeah, because it was terrible. So I kind of feel we're maybe entering a suitable point
Dangerous twilight zone.
to call it an evening now. So if anybody's got any other questions, do shout them out now. We will probably wrap things up in the next 5-10 minutes. I mean, I'd love to talk, and I could probably talk for hours and hours and hours, but we try and keep these a bit shorter. Try and keep it.
Also, we're playing tomorrow, where we'll be up till really late, so we need to go to bed.
Yeah, I don't know about the other guys who do recordings as well, but we don't tend to start things till like about 8 o'clock, because I have to get home, get over to Robin's house. We have to set up, we have to record, we've got to pack up afterwards. Generally 2 games. We finish by about 11:30, something like that.
Yeah, my children take forever to get to bed. It seems like it's later and later.
Yeah,
the older they get.
Yeah.
Dropbox, VJ says.
VJ's trying to tempt us to the dark side here. Well, no, it's knowing the dark side, trying to be very useful and helpful. We'll be in touch, VJ.
Yeah, definitely.
There was one question that was asked a little while ago that we completely missed, and I can't remember who asked it, but they asked if we drink when we play. Tea? That's about it.
I take offence at that.
Maybe I should.
I'm naturally this witty. No, I don't. I barely drink anyway, but we're certainly not when we're playing.
I remember seeing some people drinking beer at the Grand Clash, and I was just thinking, wow, that's strong. I don't think
I'm such a lightweight, but I just can't. I just can't take my alcohol at all. It doesn't make me feel very well, and B, I thought of trying to play this game whilst drunk.
Yeah, well, maybe if you got drunk, then it gives an excuse at least. I lost all 5 games, and I couldn't even find the last one.
Yeah, just like be crying on the poor Nighthawk player I played in the 5th game, and then I didn't roll a crit. Trying to score bloody shortcut. I think I just tore the card up.
Now,
I've been drinking.
A friend of mine suggested, and he linked me the video. I think it was Top Gear did a video where they were trying to put Lego kits together whilst drinking, and there was like a shot-based drinking game involved. And I suggested to Robin that we should do a similar thing where every time someone scores an objective, you have to take a shot. See how that goes one day. But I think you said, Robin, that it's going to have to be a higher number of subscribers before we do that.
It's going to be hard. I think you said a glory as well. So some of the games are like 2018. No, pretty brutal.
No, not per glory point. Yeah, that would kill us all, I think.
Yeah, Daniel said it's starting to get cold outside these days. Do you guys not freeze your nads off when in the garage? It's not too bad yet. It's going to be a bit chilly tomorrow. We have insulated the garage, and we do have quite a good heater. And sort of the rest of the lights in the house go dim when we put it on, but it keeps us quite warm. I think we only had one day last year that was a bit too chilly to play. We did play, I think I
put a little Twitter, not Twitter. I think I put a tweet out of me in the garage, and you could just see my breath frosting on the air.
That's when it was -5-ish outside, and it was about 10 degrees in the garage.
Yeah, it was pretty cold. We did, with some Patreon money, we did actually kit out the garage with some whatever it's called.
So Ed said we could burn all the shades bar cars to heat.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we could do that. I'm
not sure how long they'd last, but yeah.
And don't worry, Undead Pank, just because VJ's already in the industry, maybe you need to speak to him about finding a job in the same industry, we're bringing people together networking and stuff, yeah. And plus, if we can use both of you, then we will. But yes, Daniel, we do start to get a little bit chillier at this time of year. The one thing that we could really do with is a studio would be brilliant, just an indoor room where we could set stuff up and leave it would be superb. We do have Robin's garage.
Extravagant when we have got a sort of room that works.
Yes, yes, we do.
That's why that's quite a long way down the list.
Yeah, a working PC to be able to stream without stuttering and stopping would be a great
because we're not that far off. I think one of our Patreon levels, we're not far off now, is playing live games.
Yeah.
So we need all the kit by then, so we can actually stream a game. I don't quite know how that's going to work. It'll be good fun. You can see how much umming and ahhing and such like there is that goes on in the background.
Yes, I think our Patreon level is $350 a month. We said we'd do a live game a month. We may have to review that, but we're still a way off of it. We've been around the $290 level for a long time now, so I feel that's maybe our natural level. See, Undead Pank and VJ having a nice little chat there already. There's already an interview going on here, so hopefully we can bring people together and keep the industry alive. Interestingly, the guy who does the versatile terrain nameplates. He works in special effects, and I'm probably using
does,
really granddad terms here, but he does all that computer whiz stuff, and and he's done
Yeah,
loads of. He's
he's
worked
worked on Star Wars and Aladdin and all sorts.
Yeah, I'm like, I want
Yeah.
your job. That's frankly, I just want your life.
Brer Breck is here.
Hello, Brer Breck.
But
Hello.
about 5 minutes before we're about to
Yeah,
go.
sorry,
Sadly,
Brer. We're
but
going to be
hello.
heading off in a minute, but thank you for joining, and you will be able to watch this tomorrow if you.
Do you have any questions? You've got like 5 minutes to answer a final question. So, Brer Breck, if you've got a question you desperately want to know, ask it now.
And Matthias Rapp said, regards from Australia. Hello. Hello. We've got people from everywhere. It's brilliant. Now, I don't know about.
Lots of Australians in today, I think.
I don't know about you, Robin. I don't know about you guys over Blackjack and all the other channels out there. It's just really humbling to have people come along and say, I love your channel. Your stuff's great. It's like, oh, thank you. Because I don't get that.
That is a good question. I've often wondered that.
I don't get that at home. Why do we drive in parkways and parking driveways? But we don't have
There you go. I think for the stream, that's good.
we don't have parkways in the UK, do we?
Not really.
Is that more a US
but
thing, maybe?
I know what you mean.
Freelance video is a bread crust game, but yeah, I think so's being a parent. Just you have to pick the bread crusts up from the floor where they've dumped them after eating the middle out and left the crusts there.
Lots of people are saying nice things now.
Yeah, we love all of
They've all
you.
got quite similar names. I'm wondering whether you've just your sock puppet accounts actually, Pete.
Anyway, I just need to send a couple of things. Yeah. No, keep going. Yeah, never take it for granted. We always find it mad. We've had a few requests from a few Patreon supporters recently to do a few things, which frankly we're going to be quite happy to sort out. And it's just mad that we're getting these requests in. And I think when we were at the Grand Clash, we had some people come up to us and they were just like, "Hey, can I have a selfie?" You're like, "Can you what?"
Doesn't it?
Yes, you can, you crazy beautiful people, you. So if you do see us at an event, don't be afraid to come up and say ready for action at the top of your voice, or just say hello. And hopefully we can meet some of you soon at the Grand Clash, which hopefully we can get to in January, and hopefully we can meet some of the other awesome people out there who are streaming and putting stuff online. It'd be great to meet up and roll some dice.
Last 3 minutes, Brer Breck asked a brilliant question, which we have answered before.
What is it?
But what is your dream Underworlds warband? He would love to see a Seraphon warband. Brer Breck and Ed, you need to get together.
Yep.
But I mean, everybody knows. I think what my answer is going to be Bretonian. I just love a Bretonian warband. It's not going to happen. Never going to happen.
I wanted, and I'm getting a Nurgle warband, so I'm happy.
Yeah, you're happy. I'd settle for a Free People's warband. But bear in mind, I'm never going to get a Bretonian warband. What was it I came up with today, people? We were talking. The Marvel announcement. GW's Marvel announcement. I wanted it to be, Marvel Underworld. How cool would that have been?
Yeah, that would have been cool because you could kill people in various gory, explosive ways, and have them turn up in the next scene straight away. Seeing their dismembered corpse on the floor, I'd be like, "Oh, that's just going to give me a few issues to talk through, isn't it?" And Blackjack was recognised out shopping. Super awkward. Yeah, I bet that is. But that is probably really proper super awkward.
Yeah, that's not happened yet. I recognised at the tabletop place, but obviously this weekend. But obviously that's people were there from the same walk of life as me, so it was not to be expected necessarily, but perhaps not surprising. But yeah, being spotted in Tesco's would have been a bit strange.
That'd be really weird, especially if with some friends or some co-workers or just some of the mums from the school run or something. Someone comes and like, "You're Robin, aren't you?" Like, "Yeah, I am. Yeah, you do that thing with the little toy soldiers. Yeah, shut up now. Shut up. Yeah." I don't know who he is. I don't know. Anyway,
there you go. Brer Break thinks Marvel would be perfect. Yeah, I think so. There is a Marvel game coming, isn't there? I can't remember who's making it, but I'm sort of interested in getting a hold of a copy of that. I know Zarastro. If anybody follows Zarastro, the painting guy, he's painting some stuff up for that game. But I would be interested in playing that. It's something we could add to the channel. Be nice. Again, it's time constraints, but we'll see. Maybe if we've got new video editing buddies, then maybe we can sort something out.
VJ also said he really enjoyed the faction-only games. Really keen to see them as the new warbands come out. Yeah, that's going to be our plan now. We're going to make sure that every time a new warband comes out, we're going to pit them up against some of the older or the more current warbands. And we're going to do faction deck specific games. It takes the pressure off us a bit, if I'm honest, because we don't have to sit there and try and work out a deck to build, because we're very aware that when we build the decks, we might be some of the first decks people see for the warbands that come out, and we're not glass winners, so we just want to pick decks that are going to be interesting, but they might be absolutely horrific once you get them to the table. They might just not work.
There's also that. It's much more liberating playing a completely faction specific deck, because you don't feel bad when you realise, like you just said, your plan has gone completely wrong because you picked duff cards. You have to deal with what you've got, and it's not your fault. It's quite liberating. Ed says it's Atomic Mass Games of Crisis Protocol, which, yes, you're absolutely right, Red. I remember that now. And you get a Ready Fraction scream from behind the bread iron test case. Yeah, nobody's done that yet.
Not yet. If I ever hear anybody scream Ready for Action, it just makes me happy.
Yeah,
I had. I think you had somebody at the Grand Clash sing Ready for Action, didn't you? So,
he said, "Do you mind?" Like, no, it's great.
Please do. And Jason, one of our Patreon supporters, Jason, I played against him in the Grand Clash, my first game, which was a nice little soft entry into the Grand Clash. We had a little Ready for Action duet. So
Jason, wasn't it Andrew?
Sorry, it was Andrew. Yes, it was.
I didn't even play when I know.
I'm rubbish with I'm sorry, I'm rubbish with names. Absolutely terrible with names. Aren't I, Fred?
For the last 3 years.
So I think that's it. I think we're done for this evening. We have had
guys.
a wonderful time.
Had the more people than we've ever had, which I think is brilliant.
Yes, we've hit a new high of about 42.
Yeah, I hope our breed of burbling was enjoyable, and we will hopefully see you next week when there'll be bound to be some more Grymwatch information available.
Yep. Well, they're pre-ordered this weekend, aren't they? So.
And maybe we might be looking for the goblins as well. I don't know if they're going to follow up that quick. We'll have to see.
Do check out the links in the description below if you're interested in getting any merch. We do have some pretty cool t-shirt designs and stuff on there that you can get, and also there's the Outpost link if you want to buy stuff. There's also the link in there if you want to get entered into the competition to maybe win Beastgrave.
Yeah, that's the
another week or so on that one, and then we'll be announcing a winner.
Yeah, okay guys, cheers.
Thanks for everybody watching, thanks for joining along, asking your questions, and we'll hopefully see you this time next week, so please do stick in your diaries.
Or maybe not, but
Well, anyway. So thanks guys,
Bye.
we'll see you soon. Bye.
Cheers, bye.